Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a great morning. I just got started on this day. You might notice that if you look in the mirror behind me, Blake's not here. We started shooting a feature yesterday, and we went until 3:30 in the morning. So by the time we got home, it was like 4:30, and now it's 11. So I still had to unwrap gear, pack up gear, and prep all of this. I'm a little bit tired, so forgive me if I stumble across what I'm trying to convey today. That being said, I'm glad you guys are here. I see there's a lot more excitement when I'm doing things instead of just addressing questions and issues. If you guys see anything going wrong with the stream, please let me know. I'm flying solo on this, and I didn't want to ask Blake to come in and help. He was dead. I'm also dead, but hey, I'm here. Okay. So if you got any questions, shoot them as we're going. Before we start, I'd like to ask you to press that like button if you're not a subscriber of the channel. Always talking about anamorphics. Today is not exactly anamorphic, but it has to do with it because these projection lenses are coming from anamorphic projection lenses. And what we're going to be doing today is adapting a Schneider. Oh yeah, I can switch cameras now, but you guys don't see me for a second. All right, here we go. So this is a Schneider. Where's the 65 mil f2? There's no. And we are back. Apparently the Wi-Fi is very unreliable. So there's no aperture in this. This is a little tube of a lens. This is the one that I'm going to adapt first and walk you through the process. But I also got two other lenses here, which are the Red Star, and this is a Premiere. So this lens has an aperture ring here, and that's extra fancy. So I'm trying to make an adapter that'll work for all of these guys. So here's the aperture. And the first one that I picked was this little tube one, and you're gonna understand why. So, okay, I'm gonna walk you through the parts and kind of the logic of all this, and I'm gonna go from there. So let's switch back. The first thing we had is the lens. So I figured I need something to, one, land this lens as close to the sensor as possible, and two, that moves it. So if this is the sensor, if it moves it closer and further away from the sensor in a way that allows me to go from infinity focus to close focus. And if you haven't watched this week's video, it's about adapting mirrorless lenses to EF cameras and how it's hard to adapt a lens that has a shorter flange distance than your current system. So I didn't know exactly what was the flange distance for these guys. Switching back again. I didn't know what was the flange distance for these guys, so I had to figure out a way to place it in front of the camera and reliably tell if that was infinity or that wasn't infinity. And to do that, I thought of adapting the whole thing to M42, and from M42 going to an EF mount. So this is an M42 to EF adapter. And the first thing that we're gonna see is, switching back. First thing we're gonna see is as soon as I try to put this through here, it doesn't really go. There's not enough room. So I was like, maybe I need to do something about this. And that's why I'm gonna recommend this adapter over other adapters. Lucas, you should really reschedule your gym days. Why are you exercising so much, man? You're already strong. I was running around with a Crane 3S yesterday, and now I am dead. My arms are like shaking as I'm unscrewing this little thing. So I take out these 3 little screws and boom, this gives me a lot more space, but when I try to put the lens through, it still doesn't go. Like, I would love to be able to push this past this retaining ring. Oh, it's just pitch black. Okay, so let's angle this a little better. There's a retaining ring and the adapter that is kind of limiting how far deep my lens goes. And I wasn't very happy about that. So I wanted to figure out a solution. What I did was I took a Dremel. So this is my Dremel bit and this is my Dremel. And I kind of hacked away at all of this stuff. And as you can see, this Dremel bit is very worn out, very, very damaged and banged up. I had 2, so the second one is doing much better. And eating through the adapter was pretty easy. But that only allowed me to get the lens further in. But it didn't solve the problem of having to move it forward and backwards to adjust for focus. Hey Aaron, thank you very much. You got the Flycam rig. I gotta look that up because the 3S is way too heavy for what I can do. Also, Lucas, I can't believe you are exercising right now. This is amazing. Okay. So thank you, Aaron. That's gonna go straight into my energy funds for this feature. I'm gonna put it all into sugar and eat it overnight. Okay, so I had this and I'm like, cool, this gives me an EF mount, but my plan of adapting this thing for M42 doesn't quite go. The problem was I had already bought a helicoid and it was an M42 helicoid. And in this M42 helicoid, as soon as I tried on the adapter and saw that the lens wasn't gonna go through, I realized that I needed a wider tube. So this adapter, this helicoid is M52 to M42. So up here's got M52 threads and down here has got M42. Yeah. And this makes it easy for the lens to go in. Look at that. Nice, very nice. It fits in. The problem is at the bottom of this, there was also, constantly transitioning this, there was also a lip that I had to grind away by using the Dremel as well. And as you can see, I didn't do that much of a clean job. I hit everything and I don't know, anything that was in my way, I just hit it. So there's lots of scuff marks everywhere on this. It's not that sharp though. I can do this and not cut my finger. Did I transition? No. Here we go. So this gave me the movement that I needed. The back and forth for the focus. The next thing I needed now was how the hell am I going to secure this in here and also go from this weird front onto filter threads and be able to use this as like a normal person. So that was the next step. I'm gonna check this Lord Scrumptious. I'm so glad you're streaming this. I've been trying to do this with my Lomo NAP Anamorphic, and I'm hoping to learn something new today. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. The NAP might be a different type of problem, but we'll get to that. Also, if you guys can let me know in the chat how many of you have watched this week's video about adapting to EF mount and just other mounts in general. I'd love to know. The numbers on that video are going great, and I thought it would be wildly unpopular because it's so technical. So if you guys can let me know what you thought about that one in the chat, I would love it. Thank you. Yeah, so back to this, there was a lot of metal grinding. I had to grind the adapter, grind the helicoid, and make sure everything fits. So I just spent an entire morning doing this. It was good that I tried. This was Monday. I decided to do this early, or like test it out, because it took so long. You would not fit in a live stream. I was so scared. I had never dremeled aluminum, and the package for this stuff is like wood and plastic. So I walk up to the guy at Home Depot. I'm like, "Can I cut aluminum with this?" He's like, "No." Well, out of luck. But online, it said that this is for aluminum cutting, and the video that they use as an example cuts aluminum. The guy's cutting like a doorknob or something. So I'm like, this is like $15. Gonna give it a shot. Worst case, I'm gonna lose $15. Best case, I'm gonna be able to make what I need to make. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Timur. Thank you, Ankit. It's the best thing though. It's both informative and why would you even ask that? Yep. There was a lot of asking about that, so I had to address it. It was also all done in one day on Saturday. Yeah, lots of double tasking here. Anyway, so I took a whole morning grinding this and wearing sunglasses as protection goggles, which definitely had a part in getting all these scuffs. But I did it. And then I had a threadless helicoid and a threadless adapter. The next step was I got some JB Weld, or like epoxy, and it was a quick setting epoxy, so it only took 6 minutes. And by eye, I kind of aligned the adapter with the helicoid and epoxied it together, just like holding it down. And I filmed all of this, but I didn't have a time to put it together. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe this will become a shorter video someday. For now, it's not in the works. This is the work. Yeah. Take. All right, Lord Scrumptious, I've been asking the same questions you brought up in the middle of this video. I'm happy someone else brought it up. Thank you. So I epoxied this together, and now I had a thing that moved, and I was able to put my lens through, but this didn't move the lens because the lens would be stuck here. I'm actually going to go for the other camera. Hold on, guys. So if the lens is stuck here at the back and I'm rotating this helicoid, I'm not getting any movement. So I have to kind of secure the lens to the helicoid. But I also did not have infinity focus. So what I did was, using the little screws that I took out, I very slowly adjusted how far this lens shot out. So I started very far and very gradually, like, mount the lens on the camera and take a look. Is this at infinity? No, it's way past infinity. So I gradually went back until I found the place that was infinity. So if I had the screws on here holding the lens, let's actually do that, because I'm rushing this all the way through, and I can actually demonstrate this. So I'm going to transition back, and I'm going to keep you on these questions. Hi, Christian. Hi, Mom. Thank you guys for joining. I'm just adding the little screws back, and I'm going to go to the close-up camera in a little bit just so you can see what's going on. Yeah, in the meantime, I can talk about the feature. We're shooting mostly on the GH5 and another Panasonic camera. We're also using the Lomos and the surprise Vazen 85mm that got here 2 or 3 days ago. And wow, that lens is pretty impressive. Guys at Vazen are really killing it. It's an 85mm PL EF. There's a bunch of mounts for it. The one that I got is in PL, and it covers full frame. So that's what everyone has been asking from them. The lens is more expensive than the MFT versions, which is not surprising. Like MFT and full frame are different leagues, and you can expect a price difference there. So I have the screws here, and I'm just gonna slowly lock them one by one. So tighten this. Oof. This one here seems a little tight, and I also have to level how the lens is in the adapter to make it flat, so we don't have a not like at an angle image on the sensor. This is like not great, but here we go. I kind of shoved it way past. Yeah. And then I can lock this one. So if you see here, there's a little bit of a lip. I hope this angle shows it better. A little bit of a lip for the lens from the adapter, but if I rotate the helicoid, the lens doesn't move. Nothing moves but the helicoid. So this was my first issue that not first, because I had to grind a bunch of metal before, but doing this made me realize that I had infinity focus, but I didn't have movement. I figured I could get some important numbers from here, like how much of this lens shoots out of this casing, where I would want focus to start from. Like if I start from here, when the lens is mounted to a camera, the body's right here. So the focus ring is pretty close to the body. But if I start it in the middle somewhere, I still have a lot of range because this is a very long helicoid. But I don't come as close to the body. So I figured the next step was 3D printing, and there was a couple next steps. This thing came with the lens, and it screws onto the front. This is what I'm going to do now. It's kind of Schneider's step ring for connecting this lens to an anamorphic adapter or an anamorphic front. I keep saying I'm less interested in the low modes and more interested in the high modes. Half the day was MOS yesterday, by the way. May I demonstrate how to donate to this channel? Yes, please, Terrence. So that's a very important thing that Terrence is always bringing up. This channel runs on blood, sweat, and tears. I don't charge for any of this. I don't have any sponsors. So I'm just doing this because I like it. And I'm just trying to bring more information to clarify questions that we all have and that I had at some point until I took the time to find out the answer. So you can donate to this channel by using the super chat function at the bottom here. There's a money symbol and you can make a donation with a message. You can also become a member of the channel, which helps me so much, and it's going to cost you 1 bus ride a month. Thank you, Terrence. So that's what Terrence just did there, using the super chat. And the last and third option is you can PayPal me. I'm adding the link in the description as well. If you're like, I don't want Google to have my information, this is the link, and you can send however much you like. Everything is useful and good. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you. I need to make a graphic for the bottom of the screen so I can just point to it, like the like button and the subscribe button, all of those things. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, that's a lot of blood, like a lot of blood there. Thank you, guys. My voice went away. So this is the front of the filter, and you can see how this goes. The new problem is the helicoid doesn't push all the way now. This filter locks it. So if I lose the screws, I would get some travel forward because the helicoid is pushing the filter, but I would not get travel back because it's not properly placed. So I'm going to take out the screws and move on to the next step. Actually, no. My next step was to measure all of this. I measured this diameter, I measured this diameter, and I measured this diameter. Then I added some M52 threads into account, and I kind of ballparked the depth that I wanted this thing to be at the helicoid. Let me just catch up. Omar, I hope it gets reviewed by Nisi 82mm circular cinema allure streak filter. It could be a game changer for anamorphaking. I'm already interested. Omar, if you got a contact at, if anyone's got a contact at Nisi, please reach out. I don't think I've ever worked with them, although I did hear great things about their stuff, especially their variable NDs. Like, they're very good for keeping flares under control and not adding weird colors to the flares. So that would be fun. Anamorphaking is also a big part of this. Yeah, guys, come on. You can do better. I know you can do better. If you're buying this stuff, you have $5 to spare. Thank you, Ankit. So I did all of those measurements. I went to Fusion and I modeled a part. I modeled a few parts. I also modeled a part to go up here in the front that would give me, these are non-standard threads. So that would give me standard threads, and that I could step up to any standard that I liked. So this is the first part that I did. And it's a little dusty because I was sanding stuff in this room just before the live stream. And this should just screw here without too much trouble. Let's see how that's gonna go. It's always a surprise. But I was also smart. Thank you, Daniel. Cheetah plus Schneider, instant win. Yeah, the guys at Schneider actually were the ones who sent me these lenses, and they still have a few in stock. If you're looking for one of those black Cine Luxes that I demonstrated in another video, I think they still have some of those. So get in touch with Schneider and ask them what's up with that. If you follow me on Instagram, I tagged them on the story and the post from this morning, so you can easily get in touch. I added little holes here so I can also use the lens wrench to make my life easier in setting this. And this is my beloved lens wrench. I'm just gonna get this at a better angle so you guys can see what's going on. Thank you, Omar. You guys are killing it today. Thank you. The amount of times I debated not doing this live stream because I was too dead from the film last night, I wouldn't even joke about it. So as you can see, these threads work wonderfully. You might not be surprised to learn that the thread measurements and sizes came from Lucas Pfaff. He's a regular here. He's also exercising right now while watching this. Lucas, you're amazing. And he gave me the measurements for all these things here. So this is going, wow. Either this is going way too far, or I reached the bottom and it's just spinning on circles. Yeah, I think that could be it. No. Oh, elbow the camera. At least it didn't fall. Sorry about that. Christian's asking if these are the regular taking lenses for the Cineluxes, and yes, the answer is yes. These are the regular Cinelux taking lenses. Oh, there was, the threads could go all the way, and they did. So see how flush this sits in here. And now I gave myself 67mm threads that I can add a step ring to it, because also these lenses do not have a front cap. Let's just get the threads going here. There we go. Terrence, I'm gonna hire you for this channel. You're clearly doing a much better job than I am. Thank you very much. Okay. These threads are not giving me much love now, but we're going to persist. In the meantime, while I stress about this, I might switch back to the other angle just so you guys can see my beautiful face. Well, never mind. I made a thread and this pulled through. So now we have 77 mil threads. This is a cheap step ring, and I can also add a lens cap to it. So we're almost there. All we need now is focusing, right? Isn't that exciting? So the next thing that we need is our focusing capabilities. I'm gonna undo the screw, and I might try for a second so the lens can come off. I pulled it out of the helicoid. I don't think I'm using these screws. Yeah, because if I use them, the lens doesn't move. So I'm gonna take these off. And it might be a little second, but I want to show you guys the part that I made and how it translated to real life. Actually, that's just gonna take a lot longer. Whoops. Here we go. All the screws are off. So now I had to figure out a way to add this to here and keep it moving. So the lens shoots all the way through. Beautiful, nice, very smooth, very great. Look at this. I could definitely break a mirror if I mount it like this, just like I showed in the video of this Monday. If you haven't checked that out, please do. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, you should. These live streams are happening weekly, and I'm always talking about something weird and how you can do it on your own. Like, nothing I did so far had a terribly challenging approach to it, so you can also do this stuff. So I modeled a piece that followed all the measurements. I measured this diameter, and this diameter, and this length, and added some 52 millimeter threads to it, and I made a piece. So my friend Patrick, who runs camera tags or headset tags, I'm gonna put him on the chat right now. He makes some really cool stuff if you are working as an AC, or if you just want your equipment to always be labeled properly. Camera tags. Did I get this right? Yeah. I bothered him a lot to like get this stuff printed, and the pieces that he makes are amazing. I highly recommend his stuff. If you're working on set these days, or if you're ramping up to get back to work, I would say it's worth checking out. If you have ACing experience, you're definitely going to appreciate the stuff that he's making. So he printed me parts, and the first version of this didn't go very well because my tolerances were too small and I just broke it. But as you can see, this rear tube was kind of coming off from the front, and no good. So I had to adapt and change the piece and get it reprinted, and this is the one that it doesn't pop off. But the insides were a bit tight, so I had to use some sandpaper. That was just before this live stream started, and I sanded the inside of everything. Plus I felt this was a little long overall, and I sanded I feel like I said the wrong word just now, but I sanded this so the lens could go deeper and just be sure that I'm hitting infinity. And if you can see here, this is the 52 millimeter threads that are going to mount onto these 52 millimeter threads. Let me just catch up. Omar is saying, I agree, this channel is my go-to when it comes to anything related to lenses. Just finishing my anamorphic rig, and I plan on recreating a sharpness test. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored that this is your go-to channel. We have been putting a lot of effort into bringing up the level of the content here, and it's still a big challenge to do this. So memberships, if you guys are watching and you're considering that this is worth $3 a month, the button is right under this video, I believe, on this corner. Nope, this corner, right? And you can join this channel and have access to more fun things. I'm always finding good deals on eBay and posting to members, and just earlier when things are happening. If you decide to become a CinemaScope member, you get early access to videos, which is something that's starting soon. This Friday I have a video just for members about anamorphaking the Cine Sigma 18-35. It's a bunch of test footage shot on the GH5, and I really like that lens. Some people say they don't love it. I really enjoy it. I think it's a sharp, very versatile lens. It's one of the few zooms that I don't hate, and it's coming up soon, and it's just for members. Ankit, best way to get an EF conversion is to chop everything off and be without a lens, and then just wait a bit to get an EF lens. Yes, pretty much. If your flange is longer than EF, like these projector lenses, then you're in luck, but that's not the case for mirrorless lenses. So the next thing that I was going to do was I had to slide this into this, boom, and then this into this, boom, and screw it in. So this goes in easily, and I can screw it in and the threads work perfect. So it's just a matter of sitting the projector lens in there and making sure it's tight, and rolling with it, you know? So this goes all the way in, and I can still focus all the way down. Cool, right? Okay. So this is what we're trying to do here. Strabel is, have you thought about mounting an anamorphic lens, for example, the new series, sideways to get a square aspect ratio image? Yeah, that has been a recent discussion, and I found by accident on the last stream or 2 streams ago that I could actually do that, and it's something I've seen people do for vertical videos on Cine anamorphic lenses. Like you mount it sideways on an Alexa, and you just get a vertical picture with a lot more resolution. So it's definitely a thing. It might be a video soon. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, Christian, you remember. So I'm going to start mounting this in here. Hopefully this is just going to slide in here. Let's see. So this goes in. It's a little tight, but it's not terrible. Okay. We did it. Okay. So this glove fit perfectly. I had not tested this yet, but it is a perfect fit. And the next step is to screw this in here. So this goes in, and I kind of screw it in here. Boom. And I think I'm gonna have to send it down a little bit more. This is so very close, but as you can see, I already got focusing. Look at that. And it's not even a rotating front. This lens is not a rotating front, so it's a good taking lens. What I think I'll have to do is sand the bottom of this a little more. Come out of there. So I'm gonna have to pop it off the glove and sand this bottom a little further so this can go down more into the lens. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna switch over, pull the A7S from this close-up, and show you guys what this is looking like, because like I want to shave this distance so this sits flush into here. But let's see if we got a picture. Let's see how this is going. So let's switch back. Transition. Goodbye 7S. All right, come with me here. Seafrin is saying, I mounted my anamorphic sideways for photography before. 3x2 becomes 3x4 with 2 times. Good for 8x10 final output. Look at that. Living and learning. So this thing ends up having an EF mount, which is just what we wanted. I'm going to mount it here. Lock. Okay, this is locked. And it works. Oh man, I can't believe this. I mean, I should not be so surprised that it works, but I am also pretty shocked. So this is what I'm seeing. I'm gonna set the stabilization to 60 mil, and this lens has no aperture, so I'm shooting at f2, and I'm lowering the ISO by a bunch. So that's my phone right there. And I can rack focus to the back. That's Finnegan's Castle. Outside's not gonna go. But yeah, I still need to shave a little bit because like right now, my furthest focus point is that door. While I can close focus to, here we go. Look at this. Racking focus. If you see all of this shaking, this is my arm from the Crane 3S last night. And I have amazing close focus capabilities right here. Very, very shallow depth of field. How close can I get to stuff? Let's see. Yeah, I can get pretty close to things. And I like the vibe of this lens. Let me see if I can look outside. ISO go down. Whoops. And then the shutter goes up. And what do I have here? Yeah, so I can focus on the window, which means I still have to cut off some more material from my 3D print to get back this little bit small gap here, so the lens can reach infinity properly. And that's the challenge now. I'm gonna pop this off. Let me see what's going on here. Oh shit, crap, I missed some questions. Let's catch up. Alright, Ankit is saying, I've also been meaning to ask, does anyone have any experience with Rapido's 16 blade iris module? Because I literally wanted to look for examples but couldn't find any. It's good for smoothing out bokeh or bokeh, but it also adds some length to your setup, so you might get vignetting earlier. It's not a bad solution, but I'd say you're better off by getting a taking lens that has a rounder aperture. That's my note. I haven't tried it either. I'm just talking from hearing what people say and watching experiences of like random tests. Not this is a video about that. Let's see. Okay, Alejandro. Then can we mount the anamorphic Cinelux over this configuration? You could mount the Cinelux, but you cannot focus with it, because anamorphics and spherical lenses focus in different ways. So as if we hit this at infinity and we lock it at infinity, yeah, you can use the Cinelux with a front variable diopter, right, like the Rapido 16A or 35A, which I'm reviewing soon. So subscribe if you haven't. And but you can't use this focusing, rack focusing capability that I'm showing here to achieve that, unfortunately, because of how anamorphics focus, or those anamorphics focus. Jonathan Hemlock, thank you from Scotland. Thank you. I'm glad I got people from all over, and I'm really glad you like the channel. Consider becoming a member. It costs $3 a month. If you are in Scotland, that's way cheaper because your currency is stronger. Okay, I'm just gonna take this out from the body for now and kind of work on shaving off those little few millimeters that I want to take out of this. I didn't really think through how I'm gonna get this glove off the lens because it's so well made. Come on. I ripped something off. It was not my intention. I think I might have to be creative about how I'm gonna take this thing out. So this is back. I might be able to heat this up, or just like take an X-Acto knife and cut off some of this so the lens can sit further into the body. This would all be solved if in my 3D printing I made this a little shorter, like 1 or 2 millimeters, and that would allow me to put the lens deeper inside of the body. The other thing that I can do is probably shave up a little bit at the top here, to push the lens even more further in, amazing English going on here, more further in, and adjust it for infinity. So that's what I'm gonna do now. But I am very tired, so I think I'm gonna wrap this stream up. If you guys got any last minute questions, shoot them now. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way of taking this out. I probably can get something like a knife and just kind of slide this down. Although this is working slowly but surely. I just need a little bit more. Yeah, a knife will definitely help. Yeah. Okay, if you guys don't got any more questions, I'm gonna say this is it for today, because I still have to go back to sleep and go back to set. Our call time is at 4:30 p.m., so I'm gonna be done by 4:30 a.m. All right, thank you guys for hanging out and for watching this. I hope this inspires you to make your own adaptations on projector lenses. A little bit of metal grinding, a little bit of 3D printing, a little bit of taking measurements, and you can do it. These lenses are fairly cheap, and the image they deliver is amazing. So get in touch with Schneider. I heard they have spares. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you next Wednesday. I think it's gonna be one of those, let's find something really cool on eBay. There might be deals around. I'll see you then. See ya. I almost missed my end screen.